You ever wonder how a company can just completely transform its operations across a whole continent almost overnight? Well, today we're diving into a case study about Kublau, a company that did exactly that. And they did it by deploying a super powerful AI workforce. The results they got? Absolutely remarkable. So let's break down just how they pulled it off.
Okay, so picture this challenge. I want you to imagine you're tasked with this. Provide 24/7 customer support, and not just in one language, but in four. We're talking Portuguese, Spanish, English, and French. Now here's the kicker. Your budget is totally frozen. You can't hire a single new person. I mean, that sounds impossible, right? Well, that's the exact problem Kublau was staring down. And wow, here's a little snapshot of the after. They went from only supporting Portuguese to handling all four of those languages 24/7. The number of daily inquiries, it more than doubled, with the AI just handling the vast majority of it. But maybe the most impressive thing, the time it took to answer a simple question, am I eligible for this? It plummeted. We're talking from an average of 8 long minutes down to under 45 seconds. So the big question is, how on earth did they do it? Let's get into it. All right, so to really appreciate the solution, you've got to understand the problem they were up against. Let's set the stage here and look at the massive hurdles that were blocking Kublau's path to growth. So who is Kublau? Well, they're a company based out of Sao Paulo, and they provide these really critical CRM platforms. That's customer relationship management for credit card companies all across Latin America. Now, their main business was solid, but they had this huge ambition to expand into loyalty programs. And that is where they hit a major roadblock. And this roadblock, it was really built on 3 big challenges. First up, the sheer complexity of the incentives. I mean, every single credit card, every country had its own unique, tangled set of rules. Second, that multilingual support we talked about. They had to cover 4 languages, like yesterday. And third, and this is a big one, launch velocity. The marketing team could whip up a new promotion in a couple of days, but it would take the support team weeks to get trained and ready. The whole system was just too slow to keep up. Okay, a challenge this huge, it's going to need a seriously powerful new tool. So how'd they find the right one? Well, this next part of the story is all about their search for the perfect technology, the one that could finally tear down those barriers for good. They ended up choosing a platform called Raia, and it was a perfect fit for a few really important reasons. First, it had the language agility they needed for all 4 languages, right out of the box. Get this, it could also ingest and actually understand over 15,000 pages of super complex terms and conditions and do it in just hours. It was also omnichannel, so it worked everywhere. Chat, email, SMS, you name it. But the real game changer, the most critical feature, was something called human in the loop. And that was the absolute key to making sure this thing was accurate. Yeah, that human in the loop feature was pretty much the secret sauce. Here's how it worked. For 45 days, the AI ran in what they called a shadow phase. It was working in the background, but not talking to real customers. Instead, the real human staff were watching, reviewing, and refining every single one of its responses. They basically trained it up to 95% accuracy. And this was so critical because it built this huge amount of trust with the operations team before a single customer ever interacted with it. So, okay, they had the right tool, and they'd built up all this trust in its accuracy. The next logical step? Deploy it. And this is where we really see the whole concept of an AI workforce come to life. Now, what they did here was really smart. Instead of building one giant do-everything chatbot, they created a team of specialized AI agents. Think of it like a team of experts. You had the promo concierge agent, whose job was to explain all those tricky rules and check eligibility. Then there was the reward tracker agent, giving customers instant updates on their points. And you even had a partner onboarding agent to help new merchants get up and running. Each agent had one specific, focused job, and they were great at it. And that right there, that is what we call an agentic workforce. It's not just one AI trying to do everything. It's a coordinated team of AIs, all working together to handle really complex, multi-step business processes completely on their own. And believe me, this is a super powerful concept that goes way beyond a simple FAQ bot.
And what about the timeline? How long did this all take to set up?
Well, for a big enterprise-level system like this, you might be thinking, what, 6 months? A year? Nope.
From the moment they loaded the first bit of data to the very first live chat with a customer, the whole thing took just 6 weeks. 6. That kind of speed it's just about unheard of.
All right, the system is live. The AI agents are humming along. Now for the part everybody's been waiting for, the results. Let's dig into the actual, measurable impact this had in just the first 90 days of going live. Okay, get ready for this. In just the first 3 months, this new AI workforce handled almost 120,000 customer conversations. Think about that. That's over 1,300 interactions every single day. The sheer volume is just staggering, and it proved that there was this massive pent-up demand from customers who wanted instant support. So, okay, it handled a lot of conversations, but how effective was it? Well, a full 62% of those chats were completely resolved by the AI. We're talking end-to-end, no human ever had to touch it. That means almost 2/3 of customers got their answer instantly. And for the other 38%, they were seamlessly handed off to a human agent who, and this is key, already had all the context from the AI's conversation. No more, let me start from the beginning. Hey, remember that painful 8-minute average wait time just to find out if you were eligible for a promotion? Well, that dropped to less than 45 seconds. And that's not just, a small efficiency gain. That is a fundamental upgrade to the customer experience. It turns a moment of total friction into one of, well, delight. And of course, what about the bottom line? What did this mean in terms of money? Well, the AI workforce took on the workload equivalent to 8 full-time employees. That saved the company over $500,000 in annual labor costs. And it's what allowed them to scale their operations in this massive way, all without having to add a single person to the payroll. Just incredible. And the wins just kept stacking up. Even for those issues that did get escalated, the human agents were able to solve them 44% faster. Why? Because the AI had already done all the boring, upfront work for them. But even more impressive is how this amazing service translated directly into business growth. It actually drove a 9 percentage point increase in the card activation rate for their clients. That's a direct line from good service to more business.
So Kublau's story is it's a really powerful transformation. But what are the big lessons we can pull from it? And, what's next for them? Let's wrap this up by looking at the blueprint for their success.
3 key lessons really stand out to me here. First, you have to train your AI on real customer support tickets. That's how it learns to speak the way your customers actually speak. Second, once you have a successful agent, clone it for new countries. Don't reinvent the wheel every single time. And third, give your marketing team self-serve tools so they can launch promotions themselves. That's how you get that launch velocity. And this quote from one of Kublau's senior product managers, I think it just says it all. They said, Raia lets us drop a trained, multilingual agent into any new program, sometimes overnight. It's the difference between saying yes to a regional launch and turning it down. I mean, wow. This technology literally gave them the power to say yes to opportunities they would have been forced to turn down before. It fundamentally changed what their business was even capable of. And they are not stopping there, not by a long shot. What's next on the roadmap? Well, they're planning to deploy a voice bot to help with the call center load, and they're going to use proactive AI to actually nudge customers toward their next reward. So it's pretty clear their AI journey is really just getting started. And that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. Kublau solved what really seemed like an impossible problem, right? So it just makes you wonder, what's that impossible operational challenge in your world that a team of autonomous AI agents could totally transform? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.